thank you so much for everybody coming down here today. It really means an awful lot to us. Before I just get into, move on to what it is that we wanted to talk about today, just to kind of give you a brief run through of what it is that we're going to be doing. So we've got a keynote that we want to talk to you about, give you an update of where my PT Hub has come from and what it is that we've been working on, where we're moving into the future. Just after that, we've got a catering company coming in, so we're going to feed you all. So you should be all right. That's probably what everyone's getting really excited about. Followed by champagne and beers and what have you. So if you want to have any of that, you're more than welcome to. And then afterwards, everything that we spoke about today, we have a demo area down the bottom part of the office where we'll have a number of areas of our customer service team that will be able to talk you through and guide you through any particular questions that you may have about how my PT Hub might be able to work with your business, or how you want to see a particular demo of the software working. So that's what we're going to be doing. But just to begin with, I just want to say hello and to introduce myself. My name's Phil, and I'm the CEO and founder of My PT Hub. We've come an awful long way since 2015. So just to kind of start to run you through, this was actually part of our very first photo shoot that we did. There's a number of people in the audience who were actually on this photo shoot when it is that we first started. So My PT Hub was founded in January of 2015. And I actually set it up in my nan's bedroom. So unlike the kind of like the Silicon Valley garage startup, if you like, I went for the very British approach and did it in my nan's bedroom. And so a little bit about me. So I started coding and building my very first website when I was 15. I was always really intrigued to see, how websites worked and how technology was going. This was back in the day of, some of the developers, either watching the video or in the room of when we used to use Dreamweaver and we used to use Flash, and everything was, back in the day of MySpace and Bebo and, probably a bit of a blast from the past. But anyway, so we set the business up in 2015, and the biggest problem is that I saw was that you would see personal trainers that would walk around the gym and with clipboards, or they would, hand a piece of paper to their PT at the end of a gym session, and then they would get it out at the next gym session, and they'll try and mark down what it is that they've been doing, and and it gets all sweaty, and it gets all horrible, and there's no way of being able to track it. And we were by far, no way, the first company in the market to do what it is that we're doing. But I just used to think that there was a much better experience, a much better way of being able to do what it is that we wanted to be able to do. So, that's bright, wow. So in August of 2015, this was the very first version of My PT Hub it is that we launched. And I think if I was to look back now at the very first version of what it is that we introduced into the market, I'm quite embarrassed, actually. It was a little bit of it was very hickledy-pickledy. It didn't do anywhere near what it is that the software can do these days. And it was specifically designed for personal trainers who worked one-to-one in the gym with their clients. That was the MVP. That was the first version of what it is that we wanted to do, was how can I go into a gym with an app and actually just log a workout and go from there. So this was the first version of the app it is that we launched, and as you can see, that's actually on a very an old iPhone there, so that says a lot about the history. But kind of want to touch upon a little bit really of why we started My PT Hub and where we were, and a lot of the problems it is that we used to see in the industry. So some of the points it is that you see up on screen here some of them are still true today, and we are still trying to break down those barriers and try and use technology in a way to be able to enhance the product further. But the interesting one is that we used to see was 90% of a PT's time or a coach's time outside of the gym was spent on their administration. And you think, well, for every hour that I'm in the gym with a client, I'm not getting paid for doing the stuff that I do in a coffee shop. I'm not getting paid for the evening work it is that I'm doing, because from a client's perspective, that's just a given. I think that I'm walking into a gym and you're just going to train me, and so therefore you're going to send me a workout. Surely that's just 10 minutes worth of work. And for the personal trainers in the room, that's probably quite a bit of an insult. And you go, no, it's not. There's an awful lot of time and effort and work that goes into it, not to mention the years worth of studying with the education providers to be able to get to that point. But being able to manage your clients as you grow, being able to track, see what it is that they're doing, have I hit a PB? Is my business and are my clients getting better? And to do that over paper-based is just really, really difficult and extremely time-consuming. And not to mention the duplication. I mean, how many times have PTs in the room here today created a chest workout and gone, well, that's about 90% the same as the previous one it is that I've done. So how can we use technology to be able to streamline that and say, okay, well, how do we use templates? How do we move forward? And how do we make that better, but improve that for the individual client? So kind of looking forward, really, these are the areas of the system is that we've tried to overcome, from those particular problems. So we wanted to reduce wasted time to begin with. That was a definite. And we believe that we have been able to do that. We have seen the level of PTs that come onto the product, and literally within half an hour, they've been able to set it up, they've been able to get things going, get new clients onto the software, and use the product in a much more streamlined, meaningful way. Use everything in one centralized location. Instead of using things on Google Drive, using things on Dropbox, then using Google Sheets, then using a spreadsheet, then using Word, now I'm going to email it, now my client's decided to WhatsApp me, it becomes an admin nightmare. So let's keep everything in one central location. And at the same time, keeping the communication up as well, using the inbuilt messaging system. How can I keep on top of my clients? No, I don't want to hand out my personal number. Actually, I would like my clients to be able to communicate with me via an app, as opposed to being able to ring me on a Sunday afternoon when actually, no, that's my time. That's when it is that I want to be with my family and my friends. And accessing things anytime, anywhere, using iOS, using Android, using web-based technology for this, and being able to track their progress as they're monitoring through the app and moving forward. But the biggest, most important thing is this one, which we have on the right here, which is it needs to still be personal. The clue's in the title, you're a personal trainer. The technology shouldn't be replacing you, it should be enhancing what it is that you should be doing. It shouldn't be going, okay, well, let's utilize a load of new AI and let's just replace a load of what it is that you want to be able to do. No, that's not what we're trying to achieve here. What we want to do is reduce your administration, make things much more streamlined for you, but at the same time still keep things personal as you're particularly growing your business. So what I wanted to do, I just wanted to kind of give you some stats of what's happened within the software within the last 12 months. Some of you might be aware of these statistics, but some of you might not be, just to kind of give you a size and a scale about how my PT Hub has grown and where it is that we've come from since 2015. So now on my PT Hub, we are now getting a new user account every 2 minutes. So just from sitting inside here, we've probably had roughly around about 10, 15 sign-ups that have come through to the platform and actually streamlined to be able to use their business. That's unbelievable growth. I can't get my head around it sometimes, just actually how many people are using the product from there. In terms of from a workout perspective, this year alone, we've had over 7 million workouts created through the app. 7 million. Could I write 7 million different variations of a workout? Apparently, but it blows my mind. And then looking into a PT sessions, over 3 million personal training sessions have taken place. That's an awful lot of personal training sessions, and combining that with the level of actual workouts that have been logged through the software as well. That's 12 million, over 12 million workouts have been logged directly through the app. So people opening up, tracking what it is they want to be doing. These are people that would previously have done this via a spreadsheet or on a piece of paper. We now have the ability to be able to get insight and to track and to see what these particular people are doing in the gym and then utilizing that to make the experience better. So in the software, we have a feature called packages, which enables you to be able to transact directly between personal trainer and client. So in the last year, we've had over 80,000 of those packages have been purchased. So a package can be anything from a one-to-one personal training session to a 12-week program to a recurring monthly, direct debit that you want to be able to do with your PT, down to an event or a boot camp that you might be running for your, with your clients. Over 80,000 of those have been purchased. But now the software has over 2 million users that use the product. So this is a combination of personal trainers and end customers and clients that are using the product. There's over 2 million people that in 2015, to even think that I would even get anywhere near that number, I'm pleased, to say the least. And in terms of payment volume, so we've just hit over the £9 million processing mark. Apologies to any of our US customers that are watching that. I can't do the maths quite quick enough in my head. But yeah, over £9 million have been processed, through our product, through credit and debit card between personal trainer and client that would otherwise be doing bank transfers or doing PayPal or what have you. This is now coming directly into the PT's bank account. And this is what our customers are saying. Now, we realize that we can't please everybody, and we know that we have areas in which we can improve, but we are really pleased with this. So Captera is one of the world's biggest review platforms that we use and that we work directly with. And our customers are giving us an average of 4.5 out of 5 in terms of ease of use, customer service, and the overall satisfaction rate of people using our particular product. Now, we get on average roughly around about 10 to 15 new reviews that come through every single day. And this is the average it is that comes through with it. So we are so pleased that we're to the point where we've actually overtaken companies that are on the stock market in terms of the number of reviews that have come through this, that are working in other particular sectors, but do touch on PT market. But we're so pleased with how it is, with what it is that our customers are saying.
Hi, my name's Emily and I am a body transformation coach. I started my own journey by losing 5 stone myself to then go on and compete as a bikini athlete. I decided that I really wanted to go into the fitness industry, so I qualified as a personal trainer. I started coaching on the gym floor and really wanted to help a multitude of women to successfully go through their own body transformations. After a few months of working as a personal trainer on the gym floor, it came to my attention that I really needed to focus on clients' nutrition and exercise to get the very best results. This led me to launch FitQueen. To be able to really support my clients, I wanted to offer a service where I could connect with them whenever, 7 days a week. To be able to support ladies when they really need that support, when they might need a pick-me-up message one day, or they might need some guidance on their workouts or their exercise, which actually led me to launch my brand and then create my own digital software. And as much as I look back and I'm very proud of it, it caused so much hassle and stress because this simply wasn't my expertise. And then I found my PT Hub. Suddenly my life became a lot easier. As a body transformation coach, I wanted to have the ability to help every female out there. And my PT Hub has given me the opportunity to do that. From interacting with a lot of the ladies that enroll on my subscription service, I have seen the most incredible results. And it's really amazing to see that some people, they really enjoy having more of a self-help approach. And that's where my subscription service has been so beneficial. And it is truly amazing to see the transformations that people achieve. After working on the gym for
Thank you, Emily. She's here, by the way. So, in fact, I think that's the first time you've seen that, isn't it? Yeah, that's probably slightly embarrassing. But no, just to give you a little bit of an insight, we have a lot more of these style testimonial videos that are available on the site for you to be able to watch, kind of give you an overview of what it is that customers are saying, and it's just great to be able to see. So if we were to look at the personal training market and we were to specifically look at how it is that my PT Hub has functioned to begin with, we kind of see that our business moves into 3 main areas. So to begin with, we've got the one-to-one training. So as I say, back in 2015, this was the real one it is that we wanted to be able to, to be able to master, and which we're still getting better at, but we can continue to grow in those areas. The second is online coaching. What does this actually mean? A lot of people think when they think of online coaching, it means that all I need to do is set up a digital product and I can just sell it up online. And is that it? There's a lot more to it than that. But the interesting one is what we have to call this hybrid model, where a lot of PTs are still doing their face-to-face, but how can I add in the online coaching into it, and how can I run a business which has the ability to be able to do both? Now, in order to be able to do that, we've got to have a piece of software which is extremely versatile and has the ability to be able to cope for that entire model moving from there. But in order to be able to do this, we need to be able to deliver the best possible experience through My PT Hub. And that's a tall order. For anyone in here that's had any involvement with, building websites or, looking at any kind of application software, the experience is so important to be able to grow and build it from. And so today I kind of wanted to home in on 3 main areas about where it is and what it is that we've been doing over the course of the last 18 months. So we've got the UX, which stands for the user experience. So what have we been doing there? And how have we revisited our user experience to hopefully make the software much better? What have we done in terms of design? We literally 18 months ago decided to completely tear up everything it is that we've learned, well, not learned, everything that is that we've done to be able to revisit the design. But also, what we wanted to touch upon as well is the features. What is it that we have been doing to be able to build the product to work better for everybody that we have in the room here today? So the first thing I want to touch on is the user experience. Now, a lot of people think when they see this is, what is user experience? Is user experience just where you place a button on a page? Is it the language that you use? Is it the colors that you use? Is it the speed of the product? In fact, it covers all of that. So if we were to look at it, how we see it is we see it with the user experience starts everything from the server side. So I'm not going to bore you with that, but what does that actually mean? Okay, so what's the speed of the server is it you're running? How is it that you do collect the data? How is it that you then push that with what you want to do? The experience starts right at the top. So we needed to look at that and we needed to go, okay, well, what is it that we're doing there? And then it flows all the way down to the design. The analogy that I like to be able to use with this is when you have an iceberg, is actually the crux of what it is that you have is sitting underneath the surface. So what is it that we're doing and how can we interface with that? Because our customers see the design and they just expect it to work. And that's just so important. So when we're looking at it, it's engulfing the entire element of that. So, as I say, for the past 18 months, we have been working on the user experience. We've spoken to a lot of people that we work with. We've gone out, we took a list of our top 150 personal trainers that are using the product, and we just said, what don't you like? What do you like? And the bit that's interesting off the back of that with user experience is, from our perspective, is one person's, can I please have this, is another person's, don't change that. So how do you weigh that up? How do you look at the opinions and how do you go, well, how can we create the best that we possibly can? To go back to the 3 circles we had a minute ago, which was, okay, you're a PT for face-to-face, you're a PT for online, you do hybrid, but you both use the calendar. How do you now work the 2 together? How do you want to have your workouts working? It's all of these sorts of things that we have to think about when it is that we're building. So up until today, we have seen these 2 user groups as our primary focus inside My PT Hub. Now, we've put a lot of emphasis on the clients when we've looked at this, and we've gone, okay, how do we make the best possible experience for clients? Because if the best possible experience is for the client, the personal trainer's life is going to become easier. And so the 2 sit hand in hand. Now, one thing that we definitely don't do is we definitely do not communicate with the clients. As far as we're concerned, they are your clients. They're your customers. But it's our duty to make sure that the technology and the experience works, so when you communicate with them, you have the tools to be able to do so. But moving forward, we wanted to expand upon this and say, well, how can we start to work with other people? So we started to look at this and go, okay, how can we now expand My PT Hub out to enable to be able to work with gyms and studios? How do they work differently to personal trainers? What are the tools and the features that they want to be able to do to run their business? Moving up from that, how do we then go to work with health clubs and corporations? what is it that they want to be able to see? How do they want to be able to use My PT Hub? We all work in slightly different ways, but fundamentally the technology is there to enable us to work it. But at the same time with strategic partners as well, of going, okay, we have a vast level of users and customers that are using our product, which is continuously growing. How can we open that up to enable for you guys to be able to communicate with them, to be able to work with those particular PTs and their clients to build a proper ecosystem moving forward? So from the user experience, this is based upon the number it is that we've ran off the side. The new version of the app that I'm going to be showing you through today and where it is that we've come now runs at 10.5 times faster than what the current version of My PT Hub runs at. Now, if any of you are big users of My PT Hub, this is a major, major thing. Just the fact is that you can open it up and the speed and the, how it is that you integrate between pages, running at 10.5 times faster, to me, that's a big, big tick from the user experience side of things. So the next thing I want to touch upon is design. Now, my background is, yes, in development, but I pride myself on the aesthetics. How can we make this look good? I want people to be able to open up the product and when they come to it to go, oh, that's cool. And you know when you get a new piece of technology, get it out of the box and you peel back the label and you go, oh, this is nice, this is shiny. I want to have people when they come to this to be able to open it up. I want your customers to be able to go to it and open it up and go, this looks cool. When you replace the branding of My PT Hub and you put on your own company branding from it, I still want that design and that aesthetic to be able to follow through, to be able to work for you guys through that. So just kind of like touching upon stuff, that this, again, is a screenshot of the very first app it is that we had back in 2015, and it's a bit blocky. There's a lot of grey lines. It's a very, you kind of click here. It's almost what you would imagine on a website, but just kind of smaller. And we can do a lot better than this. Things have changed an awful lot since then. As I say, I'm a bit embarrassed about this, but we best put it up. But then in 2017, we then launched another update, which is the one it is that you see here. And so much so that actually at MyPT, we haven't released a new feature update on MyPT Hub since July 2018. Now, that was deliberate because we're all here today to see what it is that we've been working on. But this update was a vast improvement from the previous one, but we like to think now we're taking an even bigger step forward with where it is that we're going. So much so that the evolution of the logo has taken place through it. Actually, when we were working through some of the designs, we were tempted to kind of get rid of this triangle approach, and we think, well, can we think of a new icon? Can we think of a new update that we want to be able to push through? But actually, there's a lot of people that know that. And it's really interesting when you walk around a gym and you see a lot of people that have that app and they have that icon and they use it. I think actually last time we handed out a load of towels at the last event that we went to, and there's quite a few people that came up in the gym and just said, where did you get that towel from? Can I have one of those? And that's really cool to see that people want to be able to use those things. So we like to see this as an evolution as opposed to necessarily a revolutionary change. So where did we start? We started with the navigation, okay? And this is the fundamental part, is that now you will see in the new version of My PT Hub, everything just sits directly from the application menu has across the bottom. So unlike at the moment where you hit the plus icon, now what it is you do is you click the button in the bottom right-hand corner, and as part of that, you now slip directly into the app menu. So every feature in My PT Hub is now known as its own specific app. So you can launch it up and you can go directly where it is that you want to be able to go to. So if I want to go to my hub, I click on it. If I want to be able to go through my workouts, I go to my exercises. You just literally go to the app, you go to the tile, you go to the area which you specifically want to be able to do, keeping the experience and keeping everything streamlined and moving from there. And then when you go into specific areas, now it is that you have the ability to be able to swipe through different areas. You can swipe between your exercises, your custom. We've utilized a lot of the gestures that you've got built directly into the app. And now when you go into your workout area, you now have a central cover flow, or you have a cover that you can scroll across the top. So all of your artwork spins through it, so you can spin through it. And now instead of seeing an entire list of all your workouts come through, you see your most recent activity. What workouts have I integrated? Which ones have I been using recently? You can go right in there, you can swipe through them, you can see all of your updates. Same thing goes for nutrition. If I go into there, the same continuity still applies. And at the same time as this is all still running at 10.5 times the speed of what it is that we had before. But including that, we've also added an awful lot of extra features and updates and tools for you to be able to manage this. So now, when it is you go into specific areas, you have search functions, you have quick access menus that come in from the side. How do I sort things? How do I filter things? When I'm walking around on the gym floor, I need the speed to be there, and I want to be able to function and integrate with my software a lot better. And as you can see, the app menu still sits along the bottom area on the right-hand side. So when we comprise that and we put all of those particular elements together, every single area of the software feels, the continuity is there. When I go between the web version, because the experience is always mucky for people. 1 minute I'm on a website, the next minute I'm on an iPad, the next minute I'm going to my tablet, the next minute I'm going to my phone. The continuity and the experience needs to stay the same throughout when I'm going there. I can't emphasize enough how important that is, because when we use these devices and when we use this technology, we just expect that to happen. And the same thing goes for when you're a corporation or you're a health club. When you've got all of your customers that are using it, you want the experience to work well. You need it to work and become streamlined. So now I'm going to touch upon a number of the features and the updates that we've been putting directly into the platform itself. And we've got 6. Actually, the new software has literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of changes, but I've stood here to go through 100, but you'll be completely asleep. But I'm just going to run through the top 6 changes and feature updates it is that we've put directly into the platform. So the first one I want to talk about is a new area that we've called client compliance. What's that? That sounds very corporate. Well, there's probably a number of you in here that use a feature that we've called up to date called the scheduler. So what is the scheduler? But we've renamed this now to call it programs. So this is a way of you being able to set in advance what it is that you want your clients to be able to do. So week 1, day 1. Week 1, day 2. I can put my workouts onto it, I could put my nutrition plans. So at those specific times or at those intervals of when it is that your client is falling onto that, the system will notify them. It will say, hey, it's time to do your workout. Hey, it's time to log your nutrition. It's time for a progress photo. So instead of having to book time in advance to be able to check to make sure your clients are doing it, what it is that we've done is we've built in an area called client compliance. So now if you go into the app and you go into the programs area and you swipe right, we will tell you whether your client is on track, whether they're behind, whether they're doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing, and we put them into a percentage rating. So the percentage rating can be completely customizable by you as a company or by a PT. So you can say anybody that falls below 80% now falls into the amber state. So when they fall into the amber state, what is it that you want to be able to do? Oh, that's no problem. We now have the ability for you to be able to select all the customers who are in amber state and say, I'm going to send them a message. Hey, I noticed that you missed your workouts this week. Is there anything you can have? Can I help in any particular way? It's instead of you sitting there and having to go through every individual client to see what it is they're doing, now you have the ability to be able to do that. So again, we've built the administration tools for you to still keep the personal touch, for you to be able to maintain that relationship with your clients. So if you were to zoom in a little bit further, I now have the ability to be able to pause people when they're on a particular program. So unlike before, if they started and they were doing an 8-week program, but they fell ill halfway through, the software would continue on doing it. Now you have the ability to be able to pause and say, it's fine, I'll come back to that at a later date. So you can do that, and it will tell you when they fall within those particular categories. And also what it does, we've now created compliance cards. So when you go into a client's compliance area, it will pop you up, and it will tell you, this is where they're at. What do you want to do? Do you want to send them a message? Do you want to pause it? Do you want to stop what they're doing? This is the program they're on. This is how many days remaining they have on the program it is that they're following. What is it that you want to be able to do from that? So we give you the tools to be able to make sure that you can grow and manage a business more effectively. And also we've built in a new area onto the dashboard, which is known as your widgets. So now when you go onto the dashboard, you now have a complete overview of what's going on. So this is quite a common one for people that do online coaching. So they may say, I want to know out of my clients who's finishing in the next 7 days, who's finishing in the next 14 days. So you can go onto it now directly from the dashboard and we'll tell you this person ends in 2 days, this person ends in 4 days. What do you want to do? Do you want to sell them more? Do you want to be able to communicate with them? Do you want to pause what it is that they're doing? You now have the tools at your disposal to be able to do that. This is a biggie. So we have worked really, really hard on this and kind of gone back to the drawing board and thought, how can we build something to enable anybody in the industry to be able to communicate directly with our user base? Now, we didn't want to turn into a marketing platform where we said, oh, okay, if you pay us £10,000, £15,000, we'll do you an email blast. It's like, no, we're not 1999 anymore. Well, what can we do to be able to enable players to be able to grow this? So what we did is we came up with the idea of a marketplace. So now the marketplace has our Find a Plan services in it, which have, by the way, have been downloaded over 6 million times. For people to be able to go in and say, oh, I want to be able to find a chest workout, I want to be able to find a body fat transformation program. You have the ability to use our templates to then be able to give those to your particular clients, really enabling you to kind of get off the ground to be able to do it. Because we do appreciate that the PTs will be coming to the platform and saying, hey, I've got 3 or 4 years worth of history of spreadsheets here. How do I get them into that? Now, that's very difficult for us to be able to do that for all sorts of different reasons, but we want you to be able to utilize our Find a Plan services to get off the ground. But we're thinking a little bit broader than that and going, well, how can we expand upon it? So just kind of looking at some of it as our partners that we've got on here, these aren't all of them, but we wanted to be able to expand these a little bit further and say, okay, well, we can offer hardware to people, we can offer insurance, we can offer further education, but how can we expand upon our strategic partners and offer people services and products to be able to move it forward? So we started to think about it and we thought, okay, well, let's take education to begin with. Now, the better the more established PT that's coming into the marketplace or into the industry, the better tools it is that we have to give those particular PTs to expand and to be able to grow their business is fundamentally important. So we have for example, we might have a level 3 or a level 4 personal trainer that comes to the platform. Now, they want to be able to do their CPD qualifications to be able to expand upon that. How can we now open up the platform to enable education providers to be able to put their further education directly onto the software? So a personal trainer can come through and goes, I want to be able to work with that education provider because I like what they're offering. Bang, I click it, purchase, done. I can now watch the content and I can see what I'm doing in an area and in an environment that works well for me. Works for the education provider because they're selling their content, works for us because we're enabling better PTs to be using the product, and outcome of it is that you've got better PTs and we've got people using the environment in which it is that they know. At the same time as that, we working directly with SimSpa as well to go, well, how can we use the software to make sure areas become accredited? How can we make sure that actually what it is that you're doing is the right thing and it is backed up with fact and with strategy? And that's, we've got a talk later on from Ollie who will touch on that a little bit further. The second one is looking at e-commerce. Now, we get contacted an awful lot by supplement providers, by merchandise individuals who say, how do we sell our products to your personal trainers and to your clients? Now, going back to the point I mentioned at the beginning, which is we don't want to communicate directly. In fact, it's not the fact that we want, but we definitely do not communicate with the end client. But the personal trainer does want to. Now, that PT might have a particular supplement brand it is that they like to be able to work with, a particular type of equipment that they like to be able to work with. So now, what we're enabling you to be able to do through the marketplace is to be able to put a center layer which sits between my PT Hub and your client. So you can select from the partners that we are working with and say, I like that brand, I like that brand, and I like that brand. I now want those brands to become visible to my clients to sit underneath it. So you have the ability to be able to not only go out to the 80,000 PTs that we have, but you now have the ability to go out to the 2.2 million clients that are also then working out underneath it. And as that continues to grow, PTs and clients will be able to be using that and working that moving forward. The third one here, is looking at a public API. Now, this is an area that we want to be able to expand upon into the future to enable other technical partners to be able to work with us. Now, we realize that we don't have the time or the resource to be able to build every single possible API connection that you may have in your gyms or in your health clubs. So instead of that, why do we give you the resources and the technology to be able to go, these are the people I want to be able to work with. I have a development team in-house. I want to be able to integrate directly with your platform. So we've enabled it up for you to be able to go from that particular way. And then looking at hardware integration as well. So later on this year, we've got a really big announcement that we're going to be talking about with hardware that we're doing quite natively on an awful lot of hardware devices. But what we want to be able to do here is if you want to be able to add in additional hardware devices, so working with people like with Tanita, or we're working with other, Withings or Apple Watch or with Fitbit or what have you, if you want to be able to integrate those, you now have the ability to be able to push those directly into the platform. And the last one is an interesting one, which is looking at with printing, is we get a lot of PTs that say to us, hey, is there a way, do you know any particular partners that you work with so that I can print off, not my workouts, but I want to print off my business cards. I want to be able to print off promotional items. Now having the ability for you to be able to work with partners in printing to be able to move it from there. So as you can see, what we're doing is we're taking with the marketplace is we're expanding it upon so you guys will be able to integrate directly into that and we can make a real, a really good product from there moving forward. And the last thing we're going to be touching on with the marketplace is Jamie's going to be standing up in here in a minute and talking about it, but we've actually been working with Jamie on building our own masterclass series for you as well, which is what are the lessons it is that we have learned and that Jamie has learned from building an online personal training business, migrating and building a business out of that. And we've documented that and put that into a 13-part video series for you to be able to work directly through the marketplace as well. And if you want to find any more information about that, you can go to mypthub.net/marketplace. So that will be available for you to be able to go and find any more information about it. And if you wanted to inquire about any of those additional areas that maybe to be able to integrate with as well, you can do it directly through that URL. So the next feature, number 3, I wanted to talk about was multiple progress photos. Sounds quite small, but really, really useful. Up to date, when you've taken a progress photo directly through the app, you've taken a photo and you've uploaded it. Now you have the ability to be able to do front, side, and back all directly in Stripe 1. So a client can go through and they can go, right, here's my front shot, here's my side shot, and here's my back. It migrates, it puts it together, and at the back of the end of a program, you then have the ability for the client to then share that directly through their social media, which then pulls in all of your logo and your branding is straight into that for you then to publish straight to your social media profile. That then becomes available for the client. The PT doesn't have the ability to be able to do that for privacy reasons, but the client, if wants to be able to share that, they are more than welcome to be able to do so. So when they're actually looking at it on the app, you now get a timeline and a history of all the progress photos that are put directly through together. And when I upload those, I can take them directly from my camera roll and put them straight in so I can do that live at any particular point. Really, really useful one for PTs when they want to be able to use with that. Next one I want to talk about is the new exercise center. So within My PT Hub, we actually have over 7,500 individual exercises that we went and recorded. Trust me, that took a long time. But one of the areas that we have noticed from PTs of how it is that they use the product is up until to date, they go into the workouts area, they then create a workout, they have to search for all the exercises and then go directly from there. So what we've done is we've completely changed that now, so you now go directly into the exercise center. So from there, you can go straight in and you have the ability to search for the exercises. You can filter through body part. You can really, really easily directly from the filtering option, you can search everything through, drag and drop that directly over to the right-hand side, hit create, and bang, it builds your workout straight from there. We've tested this out, and you can literally build a workout in probably about 45 seconds from you to be able to go through. It's really, really nice, really, really streamlined for you to do. And obviously, that works directly through the mobile app as well. And as soon as you hit create workout, what it does is we've built a new feature called the stack. You'll see this in several areas around the particular in the site, including nutrition as well, that you can multi-add. You can do things around a different product at a different time, add it straight into your stack, and from there, it then goes off and then builds what it is that you need to be able to do. It's a really, really, really nice tool. Next thing I want to talk about is enterprise. So this is an interesting one. So the two areas that we had at the top earlier, which was, we were talking about, which was personal trainers and we had clients. Then we had our gyms and we had our health clubs and we had our partners as well from there. So what is it that we're doing in the enterprise space to be able to work, with new people? So what we wanted to do is we wanted to build an administration layer which sat directly over the top of My PT Hub. So when you're running a club or you're running a studio, you have the ability to be able to see what PTs are doing in different regions around the country. In the southeast of England, how are my PTs performing? Which ones are using the My PT Hub Finder Plan services? Which ones are getting good testimonials and feedback from there? So what we did is we broke this down into specific feature areas for you to be able to use. So the first one was in user management. So inside the software, you have the ability to add PTs, you have the ability to be able to add site managers, you have the ability to area managers, and kind of building up from there from a permission system for you to be able to then filter down. Location management, so you can see the different areas around the country or around the world that people are working with. Analytics, so you can track to see what it is exactly that your clients and the personal trainers are doing. Another important one is testimonials as well, which is, clients are giving feedback to their trainers, so we will give you the ability for you to then be able to publish that and be able to put that online. And then generate your reporting as well, so you can say, these are the analytics I want to be able to see every single month, generate my report, so when you go into your meetings, you have the ability to be able to do it from there. So we've wanted to build this abstract enterprise layer which sits over My PT Hub, enabling you to kind of get eyes and ears of what it is that all of your clubs are doing. So if you want to find any more information about that, you can go through to mypthub.net/enterprise for you to be able to see and find any more information about it. The sixth one, we're now working with this guy. So now you're going to be able to open up the app, and I'm going to say, hey Siri. I was kind of half expecting a load of phones to go boom, boom, then at the same time. So now what is it this is a really, really cool, I actually really use this a lot. So you can go, so as a personal trainer, you can do any of these particular commands. So you can now talk to your phone as well at the same time. So, hey Siri, create my nutrition plan. Book in a class. What's my calendar looking like today? How am I send a message to my client? You can all do this now directly talking to your phone. But we've also flipped this around the other way. So your clients can now also talk directly to your app. And don't forget as well that you can brand the app with your own logo, have your own app on the App Store, those particular types of things. So your clients now think that you've also now integrated directly with Siri. So I want to start today's workout, update my progress photo, show me today's program, what's my calendar with my PT. You can now do this stuff on the go. It's really, really cool. What we've done is we put a promo video for you together to kind of like give you a little bit of an update of where it is that we've come with it.
Start my workout.
It's pretty cool, right? Yeah, as I say, that's launching on the 21st of October. So next Monday will be your first opportunity to be able to see, apart from using the demo stuff today, you'll be able to get your hands on the latest version of My PT Hub, to be able to see it, to be able to feel it, and to really kind of, experience the update and the products for yourself. But in terms of the cost to a personal trainer, what is it? So My PT Hub is now going to be costing £49 per month, and that is completely unlimited. Ever since the beginning, we've always had the ethos, which is we should not be charging personal trainers any more per month to be able to add more clients to it. There's nothing more awkward than when a client comes into the gym and they say, hey, I'm interested in your services. Just give me 1 sec, I just need to pay an extra $5 just to add you to my account. It's awkward, it's embarrassing, it doesn't need to be like that. So all of the features that are inside My PT Hub are available to you for £49 per month. Now, this is not an obligatory update. You do not have to be able to purchase this. We are running the old version of My PT Hub side by side with this at the same time. So if you have an existing account and you do not want any of these, you do not have to be able to buy them, even though we think that you'll like it, and we hope that you will. If you're using version 2 of My PT Hub, you can continue to be able to use that moving forward. But as I say, V3 will be available as of the 21st of October. So kind of just putting these all together, these are some highlights that we've extracted from the user interface to be able to see. New contacts area, so you've got new contacts cards, multiple progress photos, updates and messaging to groups, to finance, to workouts, you name it. No stone has been left unturned. We really have gone to town with the update of moving that and putting that into the product.
Hey Siri, start my workout.
So that's all from me for the time being. I'm going to pass over to Jamie now, but I just want to say a massive thank you again for everybody who's turned up today. I hope you like what you see. As I say earlier, there's a demo area available for you afterwards to be able to have a click around, and if you've got any questions afterwards, I'll be more than happy to be able to answer. So thank you very much.